Hello there guys, it's Captain Invisible here and welcome to another turn of the custom campaign mod hot seat from Medieval to Total War. This is the Tyronian hot seat where we play as the Principality of the Amber Plains and it is turn number 8. So let us jump straight into this and see what we can do on this turn. So, if you remember from last time, we had the siege of Istalo going on, so we'll have that to look at. We also have a bit of recruitment and construction to get to look at this turn as well. I want to start shifting some troops over as well to get into a position where we may eventually have to fight the Mongols. They are in quite a strong position. So we are going to need to build to face them before they attack us, because it's always best to be the aggressor in hot seats like this. In terms of the end of turn report, we do have 2,680 florins to play around with. This is going to go very quickly due to a lot of things that we are wanting to construct, certainly this turn as well as in future turns. But it'll give us some money to play around with and get ourselves set up to, as I say, face the Mongols in due course. In terms of the balance of power, it looks like the Valdokian Empire, which a Visceral Jouster has renamed back to the Valdokian Empire, has dominated the board in terms of military production, population and the overall. The only place that the Valdokian Empire doesn't have the top score in is the financial situation, which, you know, the AI likes to cheat, so it is always going to be an AI faction. It generally always is an AI faction unless you own half of the world and the AI can't finally match your huge income. So yeah, it's likely to always be the Pyramids, or if the Pyramids get defeated, another faction. So I've no doubt that he's probably either second or third in terms of the financial report anyway. So yeah, the Valdokian Empire really dominating, and as you can see, I don't know whether I compared this last turn, but there is the purple border of the Valdokian Empire over here. So as soon as we take Istalo, we are going to be bordering the Valdokian Empire, which is expanded all the way down here, all the way up from his starting location, right the way up here. So a nice large empire, as his name suggests. So we can get things shifted over. We have cavalry and an archer unit to deal with this siege. It's not going to be too bad. I thought it would go terribly because heavy cav will always beat this sort of light horse archer cav unless it's on the open field. In a siege, the heavy cav has the advantage, and the spearmen as well, and the superior archers were going to cause some pains. But the AI doesn't like to. You can trick the AI to do a lot of things, so we can certainly do that in this battle. I have tested it out, and we did manage to get all of our cav in with some losses, but it was only minor losses. I think I lost 58 men in total, just as a general loss tally. So we can certainly do that. I also want to move my general over here back into Tivador. The Mongols have the castle. I think it's around about here. It's sort of all the way down here next to this fur resource. It is a considerable way to travel without roads, so I'm not afraid that the Mongols are going to suddenly appear with a stack right next to me. If anything, this stack will appear, well, I've got vision all the way over here, so we'll see it either along this line before it actually reaches our land, and then we can deal with it at that stage. We do have 3 units of cav over here, and we certainly have plenty to deal with a Mongol invasion from Tivador, but I do want to, as I say, be aggressive and push. I'm hoping that they have a settlement down here actually, maybe somewhere here that I can use as an outpost to triangulate these settlements. and then we can sort of push deeper into their lands. But at the moment, we just wanted to consolidate this river here, because this is our main defence for our internal settlements. So the first stage would be to take Istalo, and from that point on we can then secure it and then look to see how we're going to face off against the Mongols. So we'll conduct a night battle as well, because it gives our general just a few more command stars. Not so important for manually resolve battles, but you know, every little helps, and hopefully it'll increase our morale slightly just in case things go awry. Excellent. So the enemy is going to want to either position on this wall here, or he's going to want to start in the town centre and go from there. So the logical thing to do in this sort of siege is to deploy as far away from the enemy's starting position as possible. That way, if they do decide that they want to follow your movements, they're going to have to do it on your terms and not theirs. So we're just going to send all of our units over here. Let's get all our cavalry off fire at will, because I've had issues with that in the past. And then we're just going to move all of our forces down to this rear gate here and use it as an entry point, because it's a larger distance from the town centre, so if the enemy does deploy in the town centre, it's going to take them longer to get over here, which should give my ram time to batter down the gates. And it's a more open area. There's all these streets which we can flank with our light cav and things. So all being well, we should be able to get our ram over here without the enemy causing too much problem for us. Yes, as you can see, they're all retreating to the town centre, and then the AI will either decide to send some units over to try and slow us down. If it's the cavalry, we should be able to manage against the cavalry. It's just if it was any of the infantry, certainly the archers, if they got the archers on the walls whilst we were trying to march over here, that would be an issue. The spearmen blocking the gate would be a disaster. Because our cavalry is not going to be able to stand up to spearmen very well. But anything else we should be able to deal with. But the AI likes to sort of sit in here for a while until it realises that it is going to be under threat, and then it will send something over to try and stop us. I can afford to speed it up. Doesn't look like the AI is sending much over to stop us actually, so we can afford to be a bit more risky with our ram. It usually sends a unit of cavalry, and it usually sits there at the bottom of the tower and gets some shots off that way. But it looks like actually, yeah, my ram's got so much closer without there being any units here. Here comes the cavalry, but it's way too late. It has sent the spearmen as well, which was an issue. As I'm hoping the spearmen don't block the gates. If they do, then I should just be able to shoot them with my archers. If they go up the walls, I think that would be the most ideal thing. But looks like the spearmen are pulling back actually. So we'll send General in first. General is going to hold off the Armenian cavalry and allow our horse archers to then get in. The spearmen have indeed pulled back, so that's good.
The Lord is with us today. We have captured the enemy's wall.
So we're going to take 2 units of cav over here, and 2 units we're going to try and flank these heavy cav with. My general should be up to the task of destroying all of these cavalry units. He is a considerably powerful unit at 60 men, and with the stats that he does have, he's quite a powerful unit. Although I don't want him to die. He's quite far in the front of the thick of the fighting there. I think he's pulled back now. I did see him earlier. Yeah, I think he's gone. Good. So we're actually gonna probably go deal with these archers. Because if they get a the jump on us, we might be in for an issue. And then we'll take these 2 round here to deal with the spearmen. So we should be able to cut down these archers with the general. He's going to send heavy cav over, but we've got archers in support. In fact, he's not even going to send them over here. If he sends them in the rear of our general, then we've got tons of archers coming, archer fire coming in. So that's going to be an issue. And then, as I say, these light cav are just going to sit right there. Take some shots at these spearmen. Our general is suffering a little bit, but it's okay. He is a hardy unit.
By the grace, our men have slain the enemy general. His troops will lose their will.
We've still got shots coming in against those cavalry units.
The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men.
Whittling down these spearmen just a bit at a time. This cavalry should die shortly. So all that cavalry seems to be dead. That's good. So we'll use our general to finish off these archers. And then we're just slowly taking out these spearmen. In fact, we could actually sneak behind these spearmen. Just need to rout these cavalry units and then we should be done with this battle. I'll bring my general up because if we defeated these spearmen, then my general should just be able to clean everything else up. Which he might be able to clean up these spearmen if he can get a decent enough attack against them.
The battle is very much in our favor. If we remain true and steadfast,
There's a general. It's quite close to the fighting. I really don't want him to be that close again. These guys could probably do with stop firing. Most of them have run out of ammunition. I think the rest I could probably do with my general's bodyguard actually. As I don't want to risk losing too many of these horse archers. So what we should be able to do, although I've not tried it with this larger general's bodyguard before, is get him to charge down this lane and strike at these spearmen. As soon as we kill this Armenian cavalry unit, which is currently kicking butt. There we are.
Winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
So it needs to be in as thinner formation as possible, and then he should be able to get a decent charge off. Failing that, we've got archers, so yeah, not the most amazing charge.
Very much in our favor. If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
And we'll just use the archers. We do have them and they've got plenty of ammunition left. do with not losing too many losses in this battle. Suffering too many casualties at this stage. We need to use this cavalry for other things, so we don't really want to lose them too much in this kind of siege battle. And if my general dies, I'll never hear the end of it. It'll be a disastrous thing for this campaign.
This is a
Excellent.
clear victory that goes to only men of great virtue and valor.
Cool. So 24 losses. I kind of... Yeah, my general doing quite well there. I kind of thought that the battle would go worse than my other siege battles do because of the amount of horse archers I have. Horse archers really aren't very good for sieges, but I guess because my general was in such a large, healthy unit, it kind of made up for it, having one gigantic cavalry unit that could just butcher a lot of various units. So we can sack it, or we can occupy it. I think I'll sack it because it is mainly Muslim as well. So I need to reduce the population of Islam and increase the population of Orthodoxy. But I don't want to exterminate the population. That would be quite violent. So we've got a trait increase of 3 command. We've got an increase of dread, and then a veteran warrior retinue. So Mr. Grand Duke Yezvelod is quite the powerful general, but he's 53, so he's on his way out. he's an old warrior who needs to rest up his sword, I think. We shall pull back these troops to the forts because, again, we're going to need them for other things, maybe to push against the Mongols. And this is a sort of an advanced position. We don't really need... We're not really going to need all of our cav in this region. We will be able to recruit more cav as soon as we get our stables up, but our money actually needs to go towards building this up to a castle level, and then that will allow us to get our knight stables, which will get us our boyarsons, which will be a stronger cavalry unit to take to battle, and the armor-piercing javelins will help in siege battles like this, but also against heavy cavalry. What I would like to do, as I said, is get some... just gather some forces up in here. Let's get some more troops. So the main goal now is to group up sort of around this region. I'm thinking Yezvelod probably doesn't have a lot of time left, so Prince Vladimir has 53 men in his bodyguard unit, so he's actually going to be pretty useful as well. He's a night fighter as well, so he's going to be quite strong. And he also has quite a lot of cavalry, so I'm wondering if we leave a couple of units of horse archers in this fort, take a couple over to Tivador, and then use 5 units of cav, maybe a couple of units of spearmen, archer, maybe 2 units of archers, and we just go on a rampage into Mongol lands. I could do with my spy over that way as well. Maybe our spy can go down this way and just see what's going on in Mongolian lands, because I don't have any sight over here. Now this is interesting, a bit of a map geography for you. So this this section's cut off from this section down here. So this means that, in fact, you can see it on the minimap actually here. So there's a line down here, and then there's a line across here. You assume that they're going to intersect about here, sort of down somewhere around here. So there must be a settlement in this space here, which I assume is somewhere here. Somewhere in this section. So that's interesting. That might be a next target, because that would be a nice advanced position before we go into the mountains. And it means that we have our triangle of doom. Triangle of settlements where we can reinforce between them. It also gives us a nice front here with 2 settlements to be able to push against the castle over here and really cut off this section with a nice big castle here. Nice big fat castle to stop anything from coming down this way. That's probably going to be the next best thing for this campaign. So far we've sort of done our campaigning in the Amber Plains. This is our sort of end of campaigning in the Amber Plains. It looks like in the winter. So we finished our spring campaign, and this is winter's come, and we're gonna settle up shop in the Amber Plains and build, reinforce, and get ready to face the Mongols